Steve Bannon is very impressive. He's a Navy veteran. He has an MBA from Harvard, a master's degree from Georgetown. He made millions in Hollywood by negotiating the deal, the distribution deal for Seinfeld. It sounds like a winning resume, but you quickly responded to this appointment saying he has no business in the White House. Why?
Look, I have no doubt that he's a smart guy, no doubt that he's an effective guy. Mr. Trump's been elected the president. But he's also someone who has traded in deeply, deeply racist stuff, misogynistic stuff. You know, you mentioned the alt-right, Katie. That's really just a rebranding of white supremacy for the digital age. And, you know, Bannon has been very proud of the fact that he's been a platform for it. So it's really quite disheartening that Trump has chosen him for this role.
Tell me a little bit more when you say the alt-right is white supremacists for the digital age. Who are these people and what are they and how do they communicate with like-minded individuals?
Sure. Well, you know, the alt-right, the godfather of the alt-right is a fellow named Richard Spencer. He's someone whose motto is, all men are created unequal. He's in favor of peaceful ethnic cleansing. He believes that black people are inferior. Breitbart's site has whitewashed his racism. So it's the use of blogs, the use of memes, the use of Twitter, and that's what I mean by white supremacy for the digital age.
Steve Bannon was the executive chairman of Breitbart News,
yeah.
Which has gained enormous popularity during the course of the campaign. What troubles you about this news organization and specifically about some of the things that have been said on that site?
I mean, it's really quite disgusting. 2 weeks after the Charleston massacre, Breitbart's website said people should raise the Confederate flag and honor it. They've called Islam a rape culture religion, denigrated women, published, you know, obsessively about so-called epidemic of black on white crime. You know, it's nonstop.
Some of the headlines include Bill Kristol, Republican spoiler, renegade Jew.
Yeah.
Another, political correctness protects Muslim rape culture, as you mentioned. Another, suck it up, buttercups, dangerous faggot tour returns to college in September. And birth control makes women unattractive and crazy. These seem so beyond the pale. Yet you believe that people take these headlines seriously and that Breitbart is an influential news organization.
Well, last month, Breitbart had 47 million unique visitors. So I'd say that's a sign of being influential. You know, it's disheartening that Trump would choose him for this role, but it's not entirely surprising. I mean, Trump has run, you know, a racist campaign, I'm afraid, a campaign that's, you know, denigrated Mexicans, denigrated Muslims, had, you know, traded in horribly racist stereotypes about the black community. So, you know, and Breitbart is the one who's brought him to this party.
Well, do you think that perhaps now that he's been elected, that Donald Trump will tamp down on this kind of incendiary language? And what is your biggest fear of having Steve Bannon as his chief strategist and senior advisor?
Well, my big fear is that Trump's policies will fall along the lines of Bannon's philosophy, that they will be divisive, that people of color in our country will continue to get the short end of the stick. You know, to put it charitably about Trump, you would say, gosh, he owes Bannon something since he was his campaign chairman. I think to put it maybe a little bit more realistically, Bannon reflects Trump's views. Trump is comfortable with that kind of racism. And I think that portends something really ugly for the Trump administration, if it's true.
Reince Priebus was named Donald Trump's chief of staff. Do you hope that he'll provide a counterbalance, perhaps, to Steve Bannon?
I do, but I also, in a bizarre way, I kind of feel sorry for Priebus. I saw him on television today talking about what a great guy Bannon was. And, you know, it's kind of absurd, but Priebus is between a rock and a hard place. You know, he wants to this position, so he has to, you know, protect Bannon's reputation. It's unbelievable to me.